Welcome to Crantrak screencast number 4, dated March 9th, 2011. In today's screencast, we are going to show you how you can control what users can see and do within Crantrak. When a user is added into Crantrak and granted access to a specific Marsh, they are by default granted access to view any data within that Marsh, and they have the ability to perform any task that is possible within Crantrak on that Marsh. At some point you may wish to limit that access to an individual user, and at this point we're going to show you how to go about and do that. To get started, I'm going to click the Show All button and show all the tasks that I'm able to perform within Crantrak, and I'm going to scroll down until I see the task called Manage User Marsh Access, and I'm going to click the Start button next to that. That will change my window to show all the users that have access of any sort to the Marsh that I'm currently looking at. And you'll be able to tell what Marsh you're currently looking at by viewing the upper right hand portion of the screen. You will see that list. You'll see last name, first name, and you will see a column called Marsh Administrator. What that means, if there's a yes in that Marsh Administrator column, that means that they have the ability to view and do anything within this Marsh. So we are going to go ahead and modify the Marsh access for this first user. We do that by clicking the Edit button. The screen will then change to show you the user that you're working with. And if they are a Marsh administrator, it will state it here, and it will give you the button here which will allow you to reset that user and make them a normal user. I'm going to go ahead and click that. The screen will then change to show you categories. Each category is a specific area within the website, and you will see over on the right drop-down lists which will show you the access that that person has to that category. If I was to just click the Save button right now with none set in any of these categories, the user wouldn't have a whole lot to do within Crantrak. They would be able to change their password, and that would be about it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down through that list, and depending upon what you want to give this user access to, you will set that value. So for example, if I wish to only have this person have access to equipment information within Crantrak, I would come down, click the drop down next to equipment, and I have 4 options. None obviously gives you that person no access to that area. View gives them the ability to view information but make no changes. View Edit would allow them to view that information and make changes, as in adding equipment, adding filters, adding maintenance events, that type of thing. And the fourth option, gives you the ability to not only view, edit, but ultimately delete. So I'm going to give this user the ability to control everything within equipment. I'm going to click the Save button. The screen will change. It will then show me that user listing again, but there will be an N next to Marsh Administrator to designate that they are not a Marsh Administrator. I'm going to go back into this user and make another change here to give you another example of where you may use this feature. If you're very sensitive to the yield information and you want an employee to be able to view things but not to view yield information, you'd want to come in here and make changes and allow everything, but leave yield to none. So I'm going to save that. What that basically allows that user to do is do everything within the program except for view or modify yield information. Now I'm going to go back in and edit this user again to give you a couple words of caution when you're setting access to a Marsh for a specific user. One thing you want to be careful of is that you don't eliminate a user's ability to do what they need to do. And a perfect example here is if I want the person to be able to create fertilizer applications, I'm not going to want to go in and set their ability to view fertilizer information, being the blending information, to none. What would happen there is a user would be able to create fertilizer applications, but they would not be able to select the specific fertilizer that they are applying. Another area that you want to be careful of is removing the ability to view bed information. Obviously, if you have an employee that you want to be able to view fertilizer applications, pesticide applications, you don't want to remove their ability to see beds, because that basically removes their ability to see just about everything within the application. The only time that you'd want to set that to none is, say, for example, if you had an employee that you only wanted to see equipment information and you wanted to remove their ability to see any type of bed information completely. And that's the only time that you would set that to none. You may go in and set that to view, and that gives them the ability to view that information, but not to modify bed information in any way, shape, or form. After you make any changes, obviously you want to go up and hit the Save button, and that user then has access to only that information. And remember, you can at any point in time go back in and edit that information. If you find that an employee, you've set something incorrectly and an employee doesn't have access to what they need to see or do, you have the ability to come in and make that change. Thank you for viewing Crantrak screencast number 4, dated March 9th, 2011.